Is there anything more toxic in Nevada than the nuclear waste stored in Yucca Mountain? Well, if you're Donald Trump, there is breaking news coming out of Nevada that could cripple the Trump candidacy and finally get Republicans to think twice about supporting the former commander-in-chief. And this news comes out of the Nevada Republican senatorial primary. There are many Republican primaries going on this election year, and a Trump endorsement is the gold standard in these races because the MAGA morons show up to vote. Bless their little hateful hearts. So did you ever wonder how Trump chooses which candidate to endorse? What's the ultimate criterion? I mean, after all, they are all willing to kiss the T-rump. But no, that's not it. So is it how crazy in their support they can be? Because they're all willing to be as bat-droppings crazy as Boberto of Colorado, if that's what will get them elected. Or is it who can worship best at the altar of Trump?
Let us now bend the knee and worship thee, O DJT, for thou art totally guilt-free. And even though as right-wing Christian wingnuts we constantly quote from the Old Testament, we shall ignore our obvious idolatry for thee, for we have no sense of hypocrisy.
Yeah, no, even though that appeals greatly to the only thing that exceeds Trump's waistline, his ego, even worshiping at the altar of Trump doesn't guarantee a Trump endorsement. I'm sure when you think of America's greatest grifter, the answer to who gets Trump's endorsement is an easy one. Money. And that's the news that's breaking out of Nevada today. Dr. Jeff Gunter, a Republican candidate for the U.S. Senate, is claiming that Trump is endorsing the other candidate in exchange for money. And that, ladies and germs, is what's known in legal circles as a bribe. It might be easy to write off Gunter as just an unknown, second-tier, angry candidate who has been shunned by the golden tennis shoe-toting, NFT-selling, Bible-hawking Trump. But there's a couple of obstacles to drawing that conclusion. First of all, Gunter, who describes himself as 100% pro-Trump, is not unknown, especially to Trump. Gunter served as Trump's ambassador to Iceland, and in Trump's world, that's a very big appointment. Iceland is full of blonde women and has very few people of color, so it's really the happy hunting ground for Trump. So Trump and Gunter have a very established relationship. One wouldn't call Gunter a Trump insider, but he's certainly not an outsider either. But in addition to having some credibility for making such a claim, Gunter is also claiming that he can produce evidence that will prove that Trump made the endorsement based on a bribe. Right now, nobody knows what that proof is, and it may well be reverse proof, meaning Gunter does not have documentation between Trump and Gunter's opponent, but he may well have documentation from the Trump campaign asking for money in exchange for an endorsement. Of course, it would be profoundly stupid for any campaign to ask for that in writing, but the point is Gunter is saying he has proof. Sure, this could end up as another round of Republicans eating their own as Fox and Republican leaders start bad-mouthing Gunter. And certainly, Trump is not going to jail for this crime anytime soon. Merrick Garland would be shocked to find gambling in Nevada, let alone bribery. But as this unfolds and becomes credible, Republicans could very well be forced to face the truth that Trump is, indeed, a grifter and a con man that cares only about enriching Trump. It probably won't make much of a dent in MAGA Nation, where facts are mere unpleasantries, but it could end up wounding Trump badly with what remains of Republicans who hold their noses and cast their ballots for the party, not the candidate. And certainly, this could cost Trump even more independent voters. The ones who are still listening to media memes about how old Biden is. Of course, one would think that January 6th would turn every independent away, But that has been buried under right-wing spin. Gunter, on the other hand, could be the saddle sword that makes Trump finally fall out of his saddle. Now there would be a sight for sore eyes. Keep checking back with this as this story unfolds because we're going to stay on top of it. I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats.